No.
Mic check 1 2.
Welcome back to the Urban Impact Show. Thank you so much for tuning in every week with us. Miss DeWanna Bradley is off this Sunday, but she will be back next Sunday. And then I will be off for the entire month of March.
Wow.
I'm gone. I'm gone the entire month of March.
I mean, we can't replace you, but we'll have
another
Jamal. Good guest.
Yeah, we'll have Jamal standing in. I thought about bringing Sheldon.
But you're off for you're off for a good cause.
Yes. We got good stuff happening. Good stuff happening. Before I forget, we are live from Windsor Heights, right here at the studio. You can book this space that we are for if you call or text 515-996-0326. Again, if you would like to book this space where we film our show live every Sunday, you can call or text 515-996-0326. I'm one of your hosts, Rob Johnson.
And I'm Brittany Janelle.
And you are watching the Urban Impact Show. How was your weekend?
Pretty good. Low key, I worked. And then
you in this work. I feel
know.
like that's all you've been doing lately.
Yeah, I'm trying to hustle. You know what I mean? I'm trying to save $50,000 in a year. So.
Hey. So listen, if I book some more speeches, I'm trying to get there. I'm trying to get right there. Get right there. If you haven't seen, DeWanna and I were on the Kelly Clarkson show on national TV this week.
That was so dope.
When I looked at all of the stuff, 8 million people were watching the show at the time that we were on, and so that was pretty dope to see. All because people like you, Britt, and our team came together to give away $20,000 in gas.
And it was even dope. She's donating to next year's. I was like, did that surprise you guys, or did you guys know before?
We had no clue. We had absolutely no clue. But what we can't say is that there's something else getting ready to happen as well, and I'm excited about there's going to be another announcement coming out as well, and I'm excited about that too. So I can't
a lot of big things for the Urban Impact Show.
Yeah, it's going to be a major time. So, and we're looking to do something bigger. Every year we're looking to do something bigger. So this year we're raising $40,000. For the gas drive, so we can give away $40,000.
And I was talking to my boyfriend about this, and he's like, in some cities, in cities, you don't see things like this happening in the hood. Like people donating even $5,000, even buying gas for anybody. Yeah. So I think just for the city of Des Moines, like that's awesome to be able to throw drives like this.
Man, we turn it up. We put it on.
Yeah.
One thing that I am excited about, so we have a ton of stuff happening in our city, and a ton of stuff happening coming up. Women's History Month is next month. There's going to be a ton of phenomenal guests coming in, talking about some pretty cool stuff. And then, of course, Juneteenth is right around the corner, so we want everybody to get excited about that as we prepare.
We'll have some good stuff.
Yeah, as we prepare for Juneteenth. And then the kids are out of school in
May, early June.
They got.
Don't remind me.
60 days left for school?
Don't remind me.
And half of those days are PTO days because they'll be out.
Don't remind me.
They'll be out for whatever reason we don't know.
Right.
We don't know, but they'll be out. What else is happening? Anything else exciting going on?
I don't think anything exciting. I think that the things that us growing within just Iowa Urban Experience and then within the Iowa Urban Impact Show, I think have been big. I think about last year when joining the show, and I knew we were going to do it great. Like it was going to be great, but I didn't know to the
reaching
magnitude.
64,000 people now.
Yeah, that's crazy. When people talk about podcasts, and I think about myself on podcasts, would think we'd be a part of a podcast reaching that many people.
Yeah, I'm super glad you said yes to coming on board, though.
I'm happy you asked me.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
So shout out to our viewers for, obviously
keeping us in business.
Right, and obviously we are giving you guys content that you want to see. If there's things that you feel like you want us to cover, make sure you hit the inbox and let us know.
True. Truly, we don't have a show without you all watching because we wouldn't show up every week just for nobody.
Every Sunday.
Yeah, for nobody to watch. So because you all watch, we keep coming back, and so thank you so much for that. You are watching the Urban Impact Show. Ms. DeWanna Bradley will be coming in really quickly with her first guest. And then right after that, we'll be back with your guests, right? With your guests, and then I'll be interviewing a couple of young men as well on the show today. So you're in for a good treat today. Stay tuned. Please go ahead on and press that share button. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with the Urban Impact Show.
All right. Well, thank you and welcome back to the Urban Impact Show, where we are excited to celebrate American Heart Month. As many of you know or may not know, that this is the month that we care about you. We want to make sure that you're taking care of your heart. And I'm really excited to be able to have a special guest with us this evening. We have Dr. Olutade. Did I do that? How'd I do?
Oh, that's great, Duana. Thank you.
Great. I'm big on names, so I wanted to make sure I got that correct. And you are with Unity Point. Will you just tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, thank you, Duana. Yeah, I am an internal medicine physician by training, and currently I serve as a chief medical officer of Unity Point Health, the Quad Cities region, and I also do clinical work as an internal medicine physician, doing bedside rounding, mostly in the hospital, taking care of patients as well.
All right, wonderful. Well, thank you for joining us. We just wanted to talk a little bit about our heart. You know, it's the one, you know, organ in our body that is most important, I along with the brain. And so we wanted to really talk today about just educating our viewers about their heart and how they can become heart healthy. So I'll just start with my first question. With it being American Heart Month, could you talk to our viewers about why it's so important to take care of your heart?
Yeah, thank you, Duana. You know, the heart, you said it right. It's at the center of everything we do. The heart is what pumps blood. Without blood, there's no life. So basically, you take care of your heart, you're taking care of your life, because you know, without when blood does not get to different parts of your body, those parts begin to, you know, they begin to die, they begin to suffer, and they get damaged, and they get sometimes they suffer some consequences that are not reversible. That's why we need blood to circulate all through our body, and the heart is at the center of that. Without good pumping from the heart, we will not get blood to the rest of our bodies. So the heart is really the machine, the center of our heart, of our bodies.
Yes, it is very important. Thank you for that. What is some of the data that is out there? You know, I've heard so much over the years that African Americans or African culture, we're lumped into this category of being the ones who aren't taking care of our heart, that we're at a higher prevalence of getting heart disease, and a lot of this is generational. Being that you're a doctor in this work, what is the truth? Is this really what's happening in our communities?
Yes, Duana. You know, heart disease is the number one killer for Americans in general. It's the number one cause of death. Now, for African Americans, actually, even unfortunately, a little worse, because you know we do know that in the United States, at least amongst African Americans, we just have a higher number of us that have heart disease. And heart disease is not just heart attack. You know, heart disease is high blood pressure, hypertension, it is stroke, it is clogged up arteries in your legs and in your arms. You know, so those are that is heart disease. It is more than just a heart attack. And when we look at the data that we have, you know, it's compared with the rest of the general population. About half of African Americans have heart disease, whereas just about a third of white do have heart disease. That's already, you can see the difference.
Right.
And then the components that lead to heart disease, we just have a higher risk factors. We have higher risk of having hypertension, which we call high blood pressure. We have higher risk of diabetes. We have higher risk of being obese. And those are things that do not play in our favor. And we know that there's a gene that has been found in African Americans that makes us more sensitive to salt. So to the effect of salt. So you can see, wow, a lot of things sounding kind of talking against us. But another piece of it is just lack of awareness from our part that this is a huge problem.
Right. So we know that this is a huge problem, but I always like to be the one that says there's some good that can come out of this. And I think it has to do with us taking control of our health. So, what are some ways that we can take care of our heart?
Yes, Duana. Yes, we can. That's a positive thing that there are things we can do, simple steps really to prevent the impact of these risk factors on us. So I think number one is to be aware that this is a problem.
Mhm.
Just understand the statistics of the numbers that maybe 3 out of every 5 African American has a heart disease, and only a third of them really know that they have it. Uh, know that even if you have a heart disease and you're treating it, 3 out of 4 of those that have been treated for high blood pressure, which is part of your heart disease, have it controlled. So,
Mhm.
think you need to understand the risk factors. I will call out number one,
Right.
your blood pressure. That's something we can check in our homes. That's something we can check when we go to our doctors. It's not until you're 40 or 50 before you start checking. The earlier you do, the better, because
Mhm.
we are seeing it in younger people. So
Right.
diabetes, we need,
Mhm.
hypertension and diabetes, they do not cause pain on day one. You may
Mhm.
have it for 10 years and not have pain, but they're causing some damage silently
Right.
inside of us. So we need to check that out. Um,
Mhm.
the other thing that is quite simple, we're not as active. African
Yes.
American, it's good to lounge, it's good to relax,
Mhm.
good to get reward from a good day's work and just
Right.
chill. But we have to be active, and it does not have to be a marathon. We can just do 30 minutes of walk, a brisk
Mhm.
walk every day. That will go a long way. We're exposed sometimes to smoking. Uh, you know,
Mhm.
when we're exposed to smoking or when we smoke,
Right.
we're not getting enough oxygen. The blood that is meant to supply
Mhm.
the rest of our bodies is not getting enough oxygen. So
Mhm.
we are putting additional stress on our body. So these are little things that I think we can do to mitigate the impact of the risk factors.
Okay, so I want to encourage our listeners today to get out and walk. That's something you can do for free. You don't have to join a Planet Fitness or anything like that. All you have to do is get up off of the chair and take some steps.
Absolutely.
All right, well, we're going to encourage people to do that. Now, let's talk about. I know you had mentioned about smoking and it, taking the oxygen away and the blood and all of that. But what if a person wants to change their life? So maybe they've been a smoker for years. They've, drinking, they've done drugs. I know that a lot of the things we do to our body, we cause some damage. But if someone said, you know what, hey, today I'm going to stop some of these bad habits, are they helping themselves? Meaning, like, would the heart start to change to get a little bit better? Would we see maybe some minor changes that we wouldn't see? Is it worth doing that?
Yes, absolutely, Duana. It is worth doing that. I would say that no matter how far we feel that we've caused damage to our bodies, it's always the right time to stop is now.
Yes.
And because when you do stop, you're giving your body a chance. We're created in a very unique way whereby our body tries to regenerate and to heal itself, but it has to be in the right environment, in the right conditions. So when we want to stop smoking, what we're saying is that telling our bodies, I'm going to allow you to have all the oxygen that you need
Right.
because you need that to heal. And
Mhm.
and so your body begins to heal slowly but steadily. When we
Mhm.
decide to stop doing the drugs, some of the drugs that we do, they cause our heart vessels, our veins to be
Mhm.
so tightened up. And when it's tightened up, imagine a hose that is blocked, the blood cannot flow through that. So we cannot get blood supply to our heart. But when we stop doing those drugs, your veins, your vessels are happy, they can relax, and the blood can flow through them. And so it's never too late to stop because with time, we can reverse some of the impact of those habits can be reversed. But there has to be consistency. And
Right.
sometimes you want to stop smoking or stop
Mhm.
some habits. We have to be able to replace it with something else because, you know, it cannot be in a vacuum. We cannot say we stop smoking and do nothing else. So that's
Right.
why it has to be maybe along with, you just give a challenge. Let's walk. Let's walk a
Mhm.
little bit more, because as you're doing that, you're allowing yourself, some ways to distress, some other ways to distress.
Mhm.
You want to stop smoking. Maybe you may have to chew gum. Maybe you have to chew
Right.
carrots or find something else. You may
Mhm.
have to replace it with a healthy habit, because if it's left in vacuum, there's a huge chance to relapse. So
Yes, no, and that makes sense. So if you are a person who is drinking and if you're smoking or doing drugs, we want to encourage you today to break those habits, but replace them with healthy ones. Especially if you've
yeah,
been doing this for years, sometimes those habits are hard to break. But we want you to know that if you make that choice to stop today, that you could be doing your body a world of good.
absolutely, Duana. Yes.
Great, wonderful. So, how can someone find out more information about their heart health, or if they're just wanting to learn more, or they think something here doesn't feel right, and I think I might need to get things checked out? How can we just start to learn more about our own heart health?
Thanks for that question. Knowledge is power, and
Mhm.
you know, you can start. I think one of the easiest way I would say is to really get yourself checked by your doctor. I
Mhm.
mean, we have more access, I think, in Iowa right now to primary care.
Right.
Can start with a virtual visit. It can start with in-person visits. So
Mhm.
you can start with that. But while you're waiting for your appointment, we have very good tools, online tools. So
Uh-huh.
when you go online, you can just you can Google African American and heart health. Just Google
Mhm.
that, and you find the top 5 things that come out. Just put it in any search engine. What comes out will be very good materials. They're very easy to read.
Mhm.
The American Heart Association has a very good website. It's called heart.org. That's it has a lot of materials for us, and thankfully, a lot of what is being put out there. There's also specific information for African Americans, so that we now have research that is now has been done on people like us to understand how our bodies differ slightly from the rest of the population, so that we can make some intentional effort and steps into making our lives better by making the right choices.
Well, perfect. This has been really great information for our viewers. I want to thank you for your time today and just being able to talk to us a little bit about our heart health. And I'd like to leave you with final words. Could you just give some encouraging words to someone who might be struggling, like they know they need to make this shift, to do a little bit better and taking care of their body, but it's just they're struggling a little bit with it? Could you just give them some words, maybe, of just encouraging them why making that change matters?
Yeah, thanks, Duana.
Mhm.
I would say that it always looks like a mountain to climb when it
Mhm.
comes to making a change. And one of the best things you can do is to take the first step. When you take that first step, then you have the power and you're inspired to take the next step, and you can take it along with someone else to walk beside you, take that step, because the right time to do the right thing is now. It's not tomorrow.
Mhm.
When you know the right thing to do, the right time to do it is now. And every single day that you make the right decision and you're taking the right steps, everything will build up into your favor. I have seen many patients that and I walked through with them, including family members, and
Right.
it was an impossible task to change habit, but one step at a time, and then 10 years later, they're able to do what they could not do when they were even younger, because they're now healthier. And it does a lot for yourself, for your family, for your loved ones. You could take that step. It will make a whole world of difference.
All right. Well, thank you so much for those final words. Thank you for being a part of the Urban Impact Show. You all have heard it today about how to take care of your heart. So we will be right back with our next segment. You stay tuned to the Urban Impact Show.
To the Urban Impact Show. I am your host, Brittany Janelle, and I have my first guest here, Mr. Dre. How's it going?
Going pretty good. How about yourself?
Good. Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me.
So I wanted you to come on and talk about your business and just kind of talk about like how you got everything started. I mean, I think that what you guys are doing over at A-List Salon is amazing. I think it's like our first truly like one-stop shop salon place we do have here in town. So tell our viewers like how things started for you and your business, and then how you got into like creating that full salon experience.
Absolutely. So my name is Dre Lindsay. I am the owner of Uncle Jay's Barbering Company. We got started, I started in 2018. My sister and my cousin, we started a business together called A-List Studios, which is a one-stop shop salon, full-service salon. We have a hair salon, Priceless Beauty Studio. We have a nail salon, Perfect 10 Nail Parlor, and we have Uncle Jay's Barbering Company, all in the same location. We came together, put our heads together, started the business, and our motive was just to create a one-stop shop somewhere that's Black owned, that's made for us, ran by us, where somebody can come and get all of their needs taken care of. So needs from esthetician services, waxing, lashes, hair, barbering, nails, the whole 9 yards. And then not only that, but I know with me starting Uncle Jay's, one of the biggest objectives of that is just to create opportunities for other people to be able to provide for their families and do something that's pretty dope, which is barbering.
Yeah, and because you have associates under you too.
Yes.
Which, how many barbers do you have?
So we have 5 barbers total. One of our barbers is an apprentice, so that's something pretty cool that we've added to the Uncle Jay's repertoire.
And does that mean he teaches? Like, what is it?
So that means he's actually learning on the job.
Okay.
So I'm actually teaching him along with the help that I get from my other barbers that are experienced as well.
And then you give him like his certificate.
Yeah. So how it works is there's required curriculum that he has to go through, and at the end of him going through all of those, he's prepared and equipped it to be able to test out. And do all of the licensing tests and whatnot that's required by the state of Iowa, and then he's able to get his license.
Instead of going to like a barber college.
Exactly. Instead of having to go to school.
I think that's better because like you're able to kind of learn. You are teaching him tips and tricks that he's not going to learn in barber school.
Absolutely.
So he doesn't have to wait the time. Like he can already have all of those things.
It's a shorter time period. It costs less money, and then not only that, but I know like here in Iowa, the required curriculum that Iowa requires for you to learn to be able to get your license, it's really geared towards straight hair. It doesn't deal much with ethnic hair, which is something that in the future I plan to, try and get my hands into so that we can kind of shift that. Because, it can become an issue if you have people that go to school, they only learn how to do straight hair, then they get in a barbershop where they have all types of people. And then if they're not getting that extra training in that shop, then there's bad situations where they could be messing people up.
And
so
that's awesome that you guys are providing that there. So,
absolutely.
Where it's like, come here and learn really how to cut everybody's hair.
Absolutely.
Because I've been in your guys' shop a lot. You see, Black people, white people, Mexican people, like everybody getting their hair cut. And sometimes when I first, I'm like, well, that's different. Like a white person getting their hair cut, but you got to learn how to cut everybody's hair. That's how you be great. And I think that, I've seen you guys in the smaller shop, and then when you guys came to your bigger shop, and I think a lot of like big cities, they do things like this. We just don't have it. So I was happy that you guys brought something like that, and I'm pretty sure it's going to continue to grow and grow.
That's the point.
But where did you go to have you been cutting all your life, or did you go to barber school and was like, I'm gonna have this as my career?
Yeah, so great question. So I actually started cutting when I was about 9 years old.
Wow.
I used to go get my hair cut, and it used to be so bad that I would cry. A true story. And I would have to get a bald fade, and my hairline would be on tilt, and I would go back home and grab the clippers that my mom had and try and fix my line. Really, long story short, by the time I figured it out, I fell in love with it. So I started cutting my own hair when I was about 9 years old. Started cutting my two little brothers, their friends, my friends around 10, 11 years old. And so I started really young. I did go to barber school. I graduated from barber school in the end of 2018. And then from there, about 11 months to be exact, after barber school, I opened up my shop, Uncle Jay's, inside of A-List Studios. And then about a year and 11 months after that, I opened up Uncle Jay's second location, which is in Iowa Falls.
Yeah, tell us about that. So what inspired you to open up another one at another location that's hours away from here?
Absolutely. So I was contacted by a client that moved not far from there. And she contacted me one day and she's like, hey, you want to come cut in Iowa Falls? I'm like, oh yeah, I can do that from the time to time. I'm like, I have a client that lives right next to you and I that I go and service often. She's like, no, that's Cedar Falls. I'm like, what in the world is Iowa Falls? Right. So I didn't even know what it was, but long story short, she linked me with a salon owner who was interested in having a guest barber because they didn't really have any barbers in that town. So I went there as
probably not no good barbers that cut like you.
Right. So I mean, I went there as a guest barber in that salon maybe about 2 or 3 weeks in a row, just 1 or 2 days out of the week. And honestly, on my way out one day, I had went the wrong way and I pulled into a parking space to turn around. And when I pulled into this parking space, I pulled into a storefront and it had a for rent sign in the window. And without even thinking about it, I just called. I ended up talking with the landlord, and next thing you know, I ended up going to see the place. I'm like, this is too good to be true. I'm gonna keep walking forward. If that door's open, I'm gonna walk through it. And shortly after that, in August of 2021, we opened up Uncle Jay's in Iowa Falls.
So how is that managing managing your barbershop here and there? How is that? Do you have to go there a few times a week?
Yeah,
Did you hire staff?
So right now I'm the only one that goes up there. From time to time I do have another barber that goes up there, but I'm there 2 days a week. Business is so good up there, and we got such a buzz that I'm actually getting ready to add another day.
Oh wow!
So I'm splitting my time between the shop here and the shop in Iowa Falls.
How far is that?
It's about an hour and 15 minutes.
So that ain't too bad.
No, it's not too bad.
So for some young barbers that are watching today, what are some things that you would say that if then they want inspired to open up a business like you, what are some things they should focus on early on? So
what I would say is, first off, don't let anyone tell you what you can or cannot do when it comes to your dream. When I was in school, I would talk to barbers. I'm like, hey, when I get out of school, it's only going to be a year. It's going to be a year or less before I'm coming to get you to come and work at my shop. I'm going to open up. And I would see how people would look at me like I'm crazy. And I said that I spoke because that's what God showed me. I spoke that I would do it in 12 months or less, and I actually did it in 11 months. Wow. Because I didn't let people tell me what I couldn't do. So hold on to your dream and don't just allow your dream to be a dream, but make your dream a goal. Put things in place to where you can actively move towards that and, do your research. I tell people, become comfortable with taking risk. But when you take risk, make sure it's a calculated risk and make sure it's a healthy risk. We don't want to be in the business of losing money, but sometimes you got to do things that's a little out of the norm in order to achieve certain things that you want to achieve. And so that's the biggest things that I would say. Be a student of the game. Learn what it is what you're wanting to do. Learn the ins and outs of it. Know what it is that you're getting into. And execute. Be consistent. If you're going to be in the service industry, be available. Offer something different. Our motto at Uncle Jay's is experience the difference. We don't just provide haircuts. We provide experiences. And so
Well, where could they reach you? So where is your salon, the the A-List studio, and then where can they reach you, like on your social media?
So you can contact me on my personal social media is under Jeray Lindsay on Facebook as well as Instagram, and you can also reach the Uncle Jay's page under Uncle Jay's Barbering Co. on Facebook as well as Instagram. You also can book your appointments online with all of our barbers at both locations at unclejaysbarbering.com.
Awesome. Well, I'm so proud of you. I think what you're doing is awesome.
Thank you.
I hope you guys continue to grow and to continue to flourish. Thank you for
I appreciate
coming
it.
on to our show today.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you for watching the Urban Impact Show. We will be back after our last break, and we will have Rob coming up with his segment.
Welcome back to the Urban Impact Show, and welcome to my segment on If I'm Being Honest. And the truth is if I'm being honest, our youth are really killing it. Not only are our youth killing it, but their parents are killing it as well. And I have two really great young athletes in the studio with me today. I'm so proud of them. I feel so connected to them. Their mom is really doing a great job with these young men. I've seen both of them shine in their respective areas. And so we have Mr. Jaden McGregor here with us, and we have Mr. Amari Smith. Jaden is a 16-year-old football and basketball athlete, and Amari is a 10-year-old football and wrestling athlete. And so, as you can see, there's some hardware already on the table, and that's just one of many. That's just one of many that we got going on. Young men, what's going on? How y'all doing?
Good.
Good. So listen, let's start with you, Jaden. First of all, Jaden, you're 16. You're playing basketball right now. Well, the season just ended, right?
Yeah.
But you were able to really carry and change momentum in a lot of those games that I saw myself. Shout out to your coach and your team for being around you. But tell us, how does it feel? First, we'll start with basketball, and then we'll talk about football for both of you. So let's start with basketball with you. How did it feel being out there?
I mean, felt good. Just being with my team, stuff like that. Like, oh my God, I'm so scared.
It's okay. It's okay.
Nah, it was good. A lot of competition, just seeing like where I'm at compared to the older guys and stuff like that. With me only being a freshman,
Yeah.
I liked it. Game was more like sped up. Like teammates brought me in like soon as I got in there, and never like felt like outside the box. Like
Yeah.
we always had like a good bond.
Yeah. Amari, how about you? Wrestling. So today you did some amazing work. You did some amazing work yesterday. Placed 6th in the entire state in wrestling. How does that feel?
It feels great, and I feel like I accomplished something.
You did. Man, you really did accomplish something today. Standing on that podium, and you defeated a lot of other kids to get on that podium today. Now, I know you took one loss today, but you still got up there and you shined and you did your thing. How did it feel to really accomplish being on that podium?
It felt great because I went there before, but I didn't get to place because I lost too many times.
Yeah.
But now I got to, and it feels great.
And you put the work in, right?
Oh, yeah.
At 10 years old, you put the work in to make it happen, to get up there and to be on that podium. 6th in the state. That's not bad. There's 300,000 Des Moines, public school students in the entire state of Iowa? 400,000? Over 400,000 public school students in the entire state, and you placed 6th in the state for wrestling for boys. That's huge, man. Congratulations on that. Good job, kid. Good job. All right, so let's switch gears real quick. Let's talk about football. Jaden, you played varsity football as a freshman, and you played quarterback. You played one of the most important positions on the team, leading the team down the field, getting them and you won some very spectacular games, and your O-line really did a great job at blocking for you. Your team really stepped up to the plate. Tell us a little bit about how you feel about football.
I love football. Like everything about football, I just love football. But shout out to my team for just taking me in, like when I got the starting spot. Shout out to them for, I don't know what to say. Like,
how does it feel being on that field? Like, I remember playing football, and I remember, because I was a running back, I remember getting that ball and then hitting the sideline and taking off down that sideline. And once I got to the goal and I realized nobody had got me, I was like, man, how does it feel?
Man, my first game, I was so nervous, but as the game continued to go on, I just got into the groove, light shining bright on you. It was just so fun.
Man, and to see your people, your supporters out in the stands, cheering you on, pushing you a little bit.
A lot.
Man, Amari.
Try to tune out the crowd.
You do?
Yeah.
Amari, how about you, man? Y'all went to the championship this year, football, and killed it. How about you? How does it feel?
It feels great because, what's it called? Just another thing accomplished, and I like to play football. That's one of my best sports to play.
Yeah, and what position do you play?
I play QB and I play running back.
So both of y'all are QBs. Who can throw better?
Me? No, me. No, you stop it.
Well, I love this. I love this. So you think you can beat me in a race now?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You got score.
Yeah. You think you can beat me now?
Oh, yeah.
For those who don't know, don't let this stomach fool you. I'm actually pretty fast. Like I ran track in high school and I ran 10.7 in a 100-meter dash. That was the fastest time. That was the fastest time that I did it. And then in the 22-meter dash, I did 22.9. That was the fastest time I did that. And I had the belly then too. So I was rolling. And this man tell you was there when he talking about, so man, let me race you. Well, I couldn't lose to a 9-year-old though. I couldn't go out like that.
But that's when I was 9.
Are you challenging me again?
Oh, yeah.
Oh man, I don't know if I should accept now. I'm gonna walk away with my W and keep it. You know what I'm saying? Well, we want to thank you both for coming on to the show. Really quick before we leave, you both work really hard, not only on sports, but you also work really hard on grades because you got to keep your grades up. You got to keep you got to stay up on being a student athlete, right? That student part is a major part to this. So any words of encouragement you want to give to other youth out there who are student athletes and just looking to just keep going? Any words of encouragement you want to share with them?
Stay locked in on your dream. Like, don't let the outside determine what you want to do. Like, if you like something, go do it.
Yeah. How about you, Mari?
Same thing Jay said, but yeah, what's it called? Yeah. Yeah, just what Jay said.
Just what Jaden said. Is there any one person in particular you want to say thank you to really quick?
My mother.
Same.
My mom. Shout out to my mom.
Shout out to your mom. That's right. Boy, we love to see it. Thank y'all so much for joining us on the Urban Impact Show today. Y'all be on the lookout for these two young men, some rising stars in our community. Let's protect our babies and let's protect our young men as they continue down this path of being student athletes. Shout out to them, shout out to their parents. But you're watching the Urban Impact Show, and we'll be right back.
Welcome back to the Urban Impact Show. We are at our last segment of the day.
Yes, we are.
How do you feel like things went today? I feel like it was a good show.
Yeah, it feels really good. Some really great guests today. Had some, shout out to Dewana and her guests, you and your guests, and then the two young men today.
I love to see young kids like at the start of their career because it just brings me back to me doing sports at that age and how exciting it was for me, and just kind of I'm excited for them and their futures. Our young black men, we need to have them, doing great things like that and a part of great things. And so I'm really excited for them in their future.
Me too, man. I'm so proud of them and what they got going on. Shout out to Dre and his business. Shout out to the doctor and what they have going on. Real quick, shout out to Madison. Madison,
Thank you,
who
Madison.
works here with us. As
Who made 40 under 40?
Yes.
That's
who
big.
Made 40 under 40, right? Right here, working with the Urban Impact Show, 40 under 40. I know that process had to be a little bit of a grueling process because that's a lot of people that they got to cipher through.
But I think
to be selected is
it's
dope.
exciting to be selected because think about all the people who probably were nominated
who weren't
and then
selected.
That just means too that you have a lot of great people, that she has a lot of great people advocating for her and noticing the great work that she's done, not only on the Urban Impact Show, but just within our community in Des Moines. So shout out to Madison.
Yeah, for sure. If you haven't seen yet, go check out the 40 under 40 list. It has been released. Please go ahead on and check that out. And there's a lot of cool folks on there, a lot of great folks on there. So go check that out. Let's see, we're pretty much closing this show down.
Yeah.
And I think we've had a great time today, man.
Great show.
Yeah, I think we've had a great time today. The final clip of the day is going to be the Kelly Clarkson interview, I believe. And so please stay tuned as we watch that. Dewana will be back next week. I will be gone. It's gonna be a fun March for y'all.
Will Jamal be here?
Yes, Jamal will be here. Jamal, one of the new hosts of the show, will be coming in. I'm not leaving the show. I won't be here in March. Thanks to Sissy for booking me throughout the entire month of March.
He's booked and busy.
Yes. So we are. We won't be here in March, but Jamal will be holding it down. I'm excited about that. Dewana will be back next week. And I think that's it. Other than that, shout out to you all. Thanks so much. Final thought?
Everybody have a good week, and we will see you next week on the Urban Impact Show.
Yes, we will. Stay tuned for this next clip of Dewana and I joining the Kelly Clarkson Show. We was on national TV, yo.
National TV.
Crazy. Tune in next week. We'll be back with the Urban Impact Show. Thank y'all so much for watching today. Check out this final clip.
Share one more story that might tug at your heartstrings. All right, I want to share one more story that might tug at your heartstrings. Before we close the show, this is what I'm liking. All right, I want to share one more story that might tug at your heartstrings. Before we close the show, this is what I'm liking. All right, I want to share one more story that might tug at your heartstrings. Before we share one more story that might tug at your heartstrings. Before we close the show, this is what I'm liking. Usually on birthdays, we're used to getting presents. That's the norm. But one Iowa pastor is making his birthday about giving presents in the form of free gas. one more story that might tug at your heartstrings before we close the show. This is what I'm liking. Usually on birthdays, we're used to getting presents. That's the norm. But one Iowa pastor is making his birthday about giving presents in the form of free gas to his neighbors. He just finished his second year and has filled tanks for thousands of people in his community. We have him on the line right now, along with his friend who's helping him with the project. Let's say hi to Reverend Rob and Dewana. Hi. Share one more story that might tug at your heartstrings before we close the show. This is what I'm liking. Usually on birthdays, we're used to getting presents. That's the norm. But one Iowa pastor is making his birthday about giving presents in the form of free gas to his neighbors. He just finished his second year and has filled tanks for thousands of people in his community. We have him on the line right now, along with his friend who's helping him with the project. Let's say hi to Reverend Rob and Dewana. Hi.
Oh, hello.
Hello. Well, thank you for joining us. And how did this all come about?
So first of all, Kelly, thank you so much for having us. One day I was at a gas pump a couple years ago and a young lady's card declined and I just went over and paid for the gas. I went home that night and I went to sleep. I prayed. And the next morning when I woke up, I felt this unction and I called Dewana and I said, hey, I think we should give away gas. And that year we gave away $5,000 worth of gas. And then this year we gave away $20,000 worth of gas. And my friend has been right there the entire time.
Yeah, it was a pretty cool opportunity for our nonprofit, Des Moines Urban Experience, to step in. We really believe in helping people in our community and uplifting their voices. And when Rob shared with me the vision that he had, being his friend, I wanted to pour into that vision as much as we could. We decided to team up and really help our community at a time when everyone's hurting. And this was the perfect opportunity because everyone needs gas.
That is so exceptional. Thank you guys so much. Everybody give it up for Reverend Rob and Dewana. I'm liking your post right now, y'all. And that's not all, actually.
Thank you so much.
I know we're not over yet. The Lord's still present. Watch this. That's not all. Our season-long partner, Pilot Pen, makers of G2, the go-to pen of the Kelly Clarkson Show, want to honor truly unstoppable people just like y'all. So they're going to be writing you a check for $1,000 to help fill even more gas tanks. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Kelly. Our goal for next year, you know, our presenting sponsor, which is the same gas station as this year, is coming back, and our goal is $40,000. And so we really do lean on our partners and our community members to help us raise this money to go out and do it.
Thank you.
Keep it up, y'all. This is a really beautiful thing you're doing for people. It seems so simple, but it's super effective. You got to get to work. So got to take your kids to school, got to have transportation. So thank you so much. And thank you to all our guests this hour, Niall Foran, Kimberly Williams Paisley, Mika Brzezinski, Tracy and Nancy. Have a great day. And if it's not, well, try and change it.